Live from the Channels Television Global Headquarters in Lagos, Nigeria, this is Newsroom Series. I'm Dominic Iwiwu. Today we'll be focusing on the southeastern region of the Federation. We start off in Anambra State, where support has come for the way of the 2024 flood victims in the state, as a religious group and the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has made available relief materials to them in their holding camps, receiving relief items worth over 250 million naira from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints at the State Emergency Management Agency Warehouse Complex in Awka. The Anambra State Governor, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, while appreciating the massive gesture, notes that flooding should be treated as a permanent emergency and there must be plans to overcome it.
The Anambra State Emergency Management Agency Warehouse Complex in Awka is a place of convergence and so full house. The state governor, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, his deputy, Dr. Onyeka Ibezim, other state executive members, SEMA committee members, and the welfare team of the Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints are all here to deliver relief materials to the victims of flood disaster in Anambra State. The governor immediately goes into the SEMA warehouse to take a look at the items donated by the church, and it's quite a sight. The deputy governor, who is the chairman of the State Flood Committee, gives his principle on the update of camp activities.
Also, there are infectious diseases, vis-a-vis cholera and all that. We've checkmated them this time around, okay, with our strong team. And with the help of the mayors that are here, we've seen to it that everybody that comes in there is taken care of. And then looking at other organizations, we have the NEMA and the MOIs, the UNDP, the UNICEF, they also come. And here we are with religious organizations. And that is why we are here today, Mr. Governor. We have a team from Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
While the country director for welfare and services of Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints notes that charity begins at home. The head of Area 70 lists the donated items worth 250 million naira.
You can't be running around telling the other people stuff. There's anything we can do from our state. That's why we are here today.
The highly elated governor appreciates the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and appeals to other churches and well-meaning individuals to emulate the gesture.
My message is really focusing on this particular gesture today. Is that of A, gratitude, and B, thanking you for this partnership and calling on others to emulate the example of Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So this is an example that is worthy of emulation, and we should advertise it.
In a similar development, the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has commenced distribution in Anambra, starting with Anambra East. In Otuocha, where the holding camp has thousands of flood victims, the visiting team from Abuja and the Southeast Zonal Office, Enugu, alongside the Anambra State SEMA officials, present numerous relief items for the people to make do with, while more are expected to be brought as time goes on. The senior officials of NEMA also encourage the flood victims. At Unity Hall, Umueri, many are also gathered to partake of the items that include food items, toiletries, disinfectants, sleeping materials, among other items.
Still in Anambra State, the third memorial lecture of the Chukwu Emeka Odumegwu Ojukwu University, Igbariam, has paid attention to the ideals of the kind of education that nurtures talents, drives development, and secures a prosperous future. While the acting vice-chancellor of the state-owned institution, Professor Kate Omenoga, calls for a deep commitment towards the progress of the university, the keynote speaker and former aviation minister, Mr. Osita Chidoka, while proposing a 100 billion naira endowment fund for the university, notes that such moves will position the university to become a hub for innovative education.
The Chukwu Emeka Odumegwu Ojukwu University, Anambra State, host dignitaries from far and wide to the third annual memorial lecture of the man after whom the university is named, Dim Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu. Establishing the essence of the event, the immediate past Vice-Chancellor and chairman of the occasion, while noting that the university was founded in the year 2000, shares the history of Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu as an embodiment of excellence.
In 1955, Ojukwu gained his master's degree in foreign ministry. In 1956, Ojukwu came back to Nigeria. Of all that he could do, he opted to serve in the eastern state of Nigeria. I was posted as assistant district officer to eastern Nigeria, particularly at Uju, a very remote village, where he stayed for a year plus, and then was posted to Moaga. And from Moaga, he was posted back.
Welcoming the August gathering, the acting Vice-Chancellor of the university commends Governor Chukwuma Soludo for paying close attention to the university.
If this place is not meant to look like this man we have painted and shown as having been full of bravery, full of courage, full of everything I think of, then we are not doing ourselves in this service at all. We are doing ourselves a very great service. That is why I call on the Anambra to please come. We can't believe you, our son, are getting received. With the rising cost of things and transportation, they're getting risky. You know, and we need to do something about that. Yes, they can.
Keynote speaker and former aviation minister, Mr. Osita Chidoka, proposes 100 billion naira endowment fund, which he insists will position the university towards global partnership.
This university should capture that very spirit. Imagine as a center of learning that commands respect and recognition, not just locally, but also on the world stage. We need new thoughts and new ideas to secure our homeland. We need to de-escalate the destructive violence happening around us. We need to secure our space for meaningful development. We need to attract talents and capital. We need new ideas how to transform agriculture and livestock. We have a small land area, so we need to figure out how can we maximize our agricultural outputs. This university should be in the leadership of that new area.
The former Minister of Information, Mr. Anambra Maku, not only calls for the release of Nnamdi Kanu, but also appeals to youth to shun violence and the destruction of the Southeast.
You travel from Abuja to Maiduguri, from Abuja to Kebbi to Sokoto. There is no peace anywhere. And so there's not dialogue going on. People now must preserve the peace you have as a condition to consolidate your progress and then move out. The moment you allow perennial violence in neighborhoods, it will affect you very greatly.
Appreciating the contributions of all the speakers, the Deputy Governor cites the public-private community partnership as a vehicle that will help bring a collective development for the institution.
A clear model, which in Anambra State, Mr. Governor has re-echoed. PPCP, the public-private community partnership in what we do. We're embedding that in the education sector, in our social sector, in our economic sector, every sector, and it's working. So here in this hall, we call on everybody, both in diaspora and even those of us that are here, to come to work.
Awards of recognition are presented to deserving guests and dignitaries. It is a grand occasion that invokes the ideals of the great warlord, Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu, and in one accord, the memorial lecture cake is cut with high hopes that the university will be a center of excellence and innovative education.
Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu.
Across the border, the Enugu State's governor, Mr. Peter Amba, has commended the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TETFUND, for its contributions to the development of the state's education sector. He gave the commendation when he received the House of Representatives Committee delegation on TETFUND led by its chairman, Honorable Miriam Onoha, at the Government House in Enugu. According to Governor Anambra, although TETFUND interventions have enhanced the infrastructure, teaching quality and research capabilities in tertiary institutions, the state cannot help but want more. Earlier, the committee chairman, Right Honorable Miriam Onoha, told the governor that they were in Enugu to ascertain the status of the tertiary institutions and to see how to assist them in assessing interventions made available over the past 4 years, lying unused in the Central Bank of Nigeria, into the state's coffers.
The committee is on this mission, because we found out that a huge sum of amount is still lying in CBN, funds that have been allocated to institutions yet to be assessed by the beneficiary institutions. And over the years, these monies allocated are eroding in value from 2020 up until 2023. The committee frowned at this, and upon realizing that this may have been occasioned by some stringent conditions attached to assessing the intervention, courtesy to the benevolence and generosity and the partnership that the committee has with the fund, the AS hit the call to relax most of those conditions.
We treat education as the highest priority, and so we are happy to have you today, and we're also we cannot commend you enough for your sensitivity to these unassessed funds, because as you have rightly noted, the net present value of these funds continues to diminish. Okay, if you had 200 million 2 years ago, it won't be the same today. And so for you to have also put some machineries in motion to ensure the seamless access to these funds is highly commendable.
Welcome back. The Minister of Defense, Badara Abubakar, says the federal government is determined to end all forms of insecurity in the southeast and across the nation. Mr. Abubakar made this known in Enugu State while addressing heads of security agencies and security stakeholders within the southeast and Cross River State. He noted that President Tinubu's administration has done tremendously well in the past 1 year in the fight against insecurity, and more is required to ensure it ends.
Minister of Defense Badaru Abubakar arrives the 82 Division of the Nigerian Army in Enugu State for the heads of security agencies and stakeholders engagement. He enters a closed-door meeting with senior officers of the Nigerian Army before proceeding to the Air Force Base, where traditional rulers, religious leaders, youths, and heads of other security agencies are already seated. Before going in for a closed-door meeting with the stakeholders, the minister urged them to speak freely to enable the government stamp out insecurity in the region.
All this insecurity must stop. We must find some lasting solution to it, and the president is committed and determined to end insecurity in this country. So I urge you to discuss openly and freely and provide advice and solution, and see us as your partners in progress.
After the long interaction, the participants share their impressions with high optimism.
I am part of this meeting. I can tell you that it's very instructive. It has brought out the best of us because we openly spoke to ourselves, spoke to the minister. He heard us, and I'm very sure some of the areas we touched about, he's going to respond to it effectively. I want to say, without any iota of doubt, that the issue of security or insecurity in the southeast appear to be what social media is touting about.
We lend our voices to ending insecurity. It was wonderful. I believe that ending insecurity is what collaboration and synergy will help. It is important for all of us to come together and unite against it. If we unite against insecurity, believe you me, insecurity will be a thing of the past in Enugu State, in Nigeria as a whole.
For the General Officer commanding 82 Division of the Nigerian Army, Major General Hassan Dada, the Nigerian Army will put in place all recommended robust strategies to ensure peace and safety in the southeast.
We've started the non-kinetic operations, and the non-kinetic is about the people, winning the hearts and minds of the people. We have a very robust interaction. The youth leaders were here, the traditional rulers were here, the civil society organizations were here. We have the women's society that are well represented. All the security agencies are also here. So there's no doubt with this kind of synergy, with kind of the discussion that have come up, we work on it, and I can tell you that insecurity in Southeast Nigeria will be still of the past as soon as possible.
As Yuletide season approaches, the people will want the security agencies to do their best to ensure a safe and seamless celebration.
The Nigerian Navy says it's committed to improving its working relationship and corporate social responsibility to its host community by supporting them in enhancing a better welfare and well-being. The Commander, Naval Base Uguta, Commodore Bashiru Salisu, disclosed this at the free medical outreach organized for members of the host community of the Uguta Naval Base in Osu Obodo, Uguta local government area of Imo State. Our correspondent, Eyitokbe Kutei, reports.
Officers and men of the Nigerian Navy Oguta Command are here in Osu Obodo community for a free medical outreach to members of the community and distribution of sanitary kits to students of St. Michael's Secondary School, Osu Obodo, Oguta local government area of Imo State. According to the Commander Oguta Naval Base, the gesture is in line with the vision of the Chief of Naval Staff to ensure a better civil-military relationship with host community.
We've been here for the past 3 years. These 3 years, we've had this corporate social responsibility stretching from medical outreaches to other quick impact projects towards building the community, which has been our host since we've been here. Then also, the main persons who are the beneficiaries is the children and also their parents, the community at large. All these are aimed at improving the livelihood of everyone.
Community leaders and students of the school lauds the Nigerian Navy for this rare gesture.
Naval Base community to give them medical attention is a talk maker. I thank the government and the Naval people for this giant gesture for the health of the people. People say health is wealth, so we are happy. And I think that they say let it be annual, so that the health of the people will improve.
I'm so happy and glad, and I received one gift too. I'm happy that I got a gift. At least I got a body spray. I'm so happy. I pray that God should help them to do more, and I encourage them to keep it up.
The Naval Commander, however, urges the community to reciprocate the gesture by supporting the Nigerian Navy in its effort to enhance its non-kinetic strategy in ensuring sanity in the maritime environment.
Words of advice I have for the beneficiaries is first, for them to maintain their health. They should have medical checks from time to time. And also for the students who are the main beneficiaries, they should take their studies well and ensure that as they grow older, they don't indulge in criminal activities. They grow to become future leaders of our dear nation.
Aside its primary aim of protecting Nigerians' maritime territory, the Nigerian Navy's commitment to strengthening its relationship with its host communities reflects a deep sense of responsibility and service that will make a meaningful impact on the lives of Nigerians. Eyitokbe Kutei, Channels Television News.
Moving over to Abia State, the state's government, in collaboration with the Hadis Foundation, has reiterated its commitments to rejig the fight against sexual and gender-based violence, thereby creating a safer and more equitable society for all. Speaking during a program titled Activating the Abia State Sexual Offender Database in Umuahia, The Abia State Commissioner for Justice and Attorney General, Ikechukwu Uwanna, says the meeting aims to identify innovative ways towards data collection and response mechanism in Abia State.
Different ministries now we have gender-based desk officers, which when you report a case, it will be taken off from there. Even the Ministry of Justice will have such desk officers there too. The whole essence of this training that Hadis and Rola are doing is when you sensitize them, they will know who to report to. Make the necessary report and we'll follow it up from there. Don't close it up. Don't shut your mouth. Report the cases, and people are there to take it off from there.
The Inter-Party Advisory Council in Abia State has admonished its members and candidates who lost in the November 2nd, 2024 local council election to seek redress through appropriate channels rather than escalating tensions, describing the conduct as free, fair, and credible. Speaking during the advisory body's post-election briefing, the IPAC chairman, Chimex Ulocha, advised the aggrieved candidates to consult with their party chairman and follow the laid-down rules, while addressing grievances expressed by some candidates regarding access to certified true copies of election results, expressed the body's satisfaction with the conduct of the election and results announced by the state's Independent Electoral Commission.
Can you tell me any of the criteria that these elections jumped, missed, or skipped? The answer is no. So we have looked at the standard bearing for elections, and we can categorically say, you can see that they are seated here, that the election was free, fair, and practical, and credible. Party is supreme. So every other independent opinion of yourself must be in line with the constitution of the party. It's not just you now, it's just about the party. So we had encouraged these candidates to still sit down with their party and decide the best line of action to take.
Access to clean water is a basic human right and essential for good health and sanitation. As Ebonyi State's government reactivates the multi-billion naira Ofrekbe mega water scheme in Iku local government area, constructed under the administration of Martins Elechi as the governor of the state.
This is Ofrekbe mega water scheme situated in Iku local government area of Ebonyi State. Since completion in 2018, the Enugu scheme was abandoned and vandalized with all the automation equipment looted. 7 years after, the state government, led by Governor Francis Wifuru, has taken bold steps to reactivate the moribund facility by committing over 200 million naira to ensure that the scheme commences operation to end the water scarcity in the state capital and other rural communities.
There is a holistic action on all the water scheme in the state. As we are here, the whole urban water scheme is being given attention. The Okaro water scheme is the only one that in no distant time that we'll start working on. The Isiago water scheme is nearing completion as we speak. The Ezila water scheme was also abandoned. In fact, when we came on board, all the water scheme in the state, none of them was functional.
Skeletal operations have started, getting ready for full services as water is being pumped in from the river connected to the water scheme.
So some of the operation system due to downtime is not working, and that's what they are setting up now, back again to states. And like what we said before now, all these things were not happening, but today we are getting water. You saw a pump there working, it's pumping that water to Abakaliki. And this water is coming from the low lift, then we are treating and pumping back to town. But the pumping as it stands now is to test run and wash the system ready to give people water.
The state government says it's working assiduously towards reactivating other water schemes in the state to provide access to clean water for residents.
And that's where we drop the anchor on this edition of Newsroom series. I'm Dominic Iwiwu.